Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome. You're just about to hear the best concert of the week here in the entire state of Minnesota. You are in the right place at the right time. My name is Brian Newhouse. I am a very proud board member of Cantus and have been a fan of them since they were coming out of St. Olaf College, and very fortunate to work with them in many live broadcasts at Minnesota Public Radio and educational initiatives, and treasure the relationship with the organization, but also each of these soon-to-be 8 amazing artists. We've got 3 of the most handsome right here, right now, okay?
That wasn't a joke.
Paul, tell us about the program, the red thread or threads running through this afternoon's concert.
Yeah, so as you
Paul
can see...
Schultz, let me just say that.
Yeah.
Let me introduce them. Hang on just a second. Paul Schultz, Paul John Rudoy, and Rod Kelly Hines. Good grief. My mother would just be grimacing right now. You didn't introduce them, so please.
Yeah, so this program, The Road Home, is our way to celebrate America's 250th anniversary, the signing of the Declaration of Independence. And so Cantus does, we tour nationally, internationally every year, and so this was our tour program in addition to one that we presented this past fall. But the way that we decided to honor that 250th is by celebrating and lifting up immigrant composers and immigrant voices. And so you're going to hear some songs that are really essential Americana, especially at the beginning of the show. We open with America the Beautiful. And then we quickly get into that rich immigrant history. And so almost all the composers on this program are first or second generation immigrants to the United States. And so the music is there's incredible contrast, tons of energy, it's totally gorgeous. We have a ton of fun singing it, which you will not be able to miss. And yeah, it's been a real joy to get to perform it here at home, but also on the road all year, around the country at different kinds of folks, different kinds of places.
Paul Rudoy, talk to us a bit about how this program, your friend Paul has mentioned the tour aspect of it. How has this program and its message of welcoming the immigrant and the richness of a diverse culture, how has that landed in different places where you've performed?
I think overall it's been a really, really wonderful experience. We were slightly worried. It's a little bit of a hot time when we're talking about things like immigration. But what we found everywhere throughout the entire country is that the reality is we do remember that the vast majority of us come from or are immigrants. And when we talk about that through the music that celebrates where people come from to become Americans, it's rare for someone to not see the beauty in that. And that really excites us, and it excited us so much that we wanted to continue this. So this will be kind of our touring B program next year. So we'll continue to perform this stuff for new audiences for, at minimum, 2 years. But it's been a really, really wonderful experience. And when people come up to us after the shows, they talk about their own immigrant experience, or the fact that their great-grandparents came here from X place. That's a very exciting thing. We find this common ground in the fact that we are all Americans.
Rod, can you walk us through some of the pieces, highlights of the program you want us all to pay attention to, the diversity of languages, how in the world you guys master all those languages?
Yeah, so as Paul mentioned earlier, the show sort of starts with classic Americana recognizable songs like America the Beautiful. But then we move into a journey through about 7 or 8 different languages throughout the show. And the really cool thing that sort of links everything together is that you'll have the opportunity to hear from the composers in their own words. We solicited reflections from the composers talking about their experience of being an American. And so you'll get to hear these moments where they reflect upon what it means to be a creative person in America and what their journey was like, what their immigration journey was like in America. And so it's really exciting to have this opportunity to open with something that feels really familiar, but then you have the opportunity to discover just the breadth of cultures and languages and just the beautiful things that people bring with them when they immigrate to this country.
One of the pieces I want to make special mention of is the final one on the program, called The Road Home. And it is a familiar tune. Some people might know it as The Lone White Dove, which is the original, I think, name of the melody from long ago. Composer Stephen Paulus was asked to set this brand new. He turned to his longtime lyricist, Michael Dennis Brown, and Michael created a 3-verse story of finding yourself. Michael once told me the story actually came from his own sense of personal grief. He had a very dear older sister who died way too young, and he was so close to her that he felt very lost in the weeks and months after she passed away. So as the piece opens, tell me, where is the road that I can call my home, that I left, that I lost so long ago? That's actually Michael talking in a very honest and real and vulnerable state. And then as we go through it, we hear this voice who calls him home. And that is The Road Home, set to this in very beautiful melody. And it's especially poignant for many of us who marked the passing of Michael Dennis Brown a couple months ago. Wonderful, almost 40-year professorship at the University of Minnesota. And his memorial service was just on Friday. So memories of Michael are very fresh for lots of us here today. And you're calling this program The Road Home. Is that true?
Yeah, it's funny. I really appreciate you bringing up a bit of the backstory of The Road Home, because often for many of you, if you've seen other Cantus performances, generally we tend to program narratively. So it's not just, this isn't a one-off thing where we're focused on kind of a theme and there are a variety of different pieces in a variety of different styles and genres. We do that for almost all of our programs, especially our tour shows, because we want to find this universal human experience that we can all connect with, right? We want to connect with our audiences rather than there being kind of a wall of performance. But The Road Home is basically one of the most well-known, recognizable choral pieces that came from Minnesota, because Stephen Paulus, as we all know, is Minnesotan. But it's a really interesting thing to note that Michael Dennis Brown was an immigrant. Right? So that's something else to keep in mind, is that this immigration story is really for all of us. And we found that The Road Home was a perfect way to title this program, acknowledging that many people come from their original homes to find a new home, to find a new place for each other. And often they find that home not only in the location, but in the people they experience along the way and in their new place.
Get ready with your questions. And a couple more for these guys, but then I'd love to hear what you're curious about before we say goodbye for a little bit, and then let them powder their noses and then come back and then sing for us. When you talk about touring, you know, we see you here in Minneapolis and St. Paul, the suburbs, taking in your wonderful concerts here. So all of the touring you do is invisible to us. Where do you go? Why do you tour? Isn't it enough to just make concerts here? So kind of why?
You are enough. You are enough. That's a great question. We're fortunate at Cantus to have a really diversified kind of revenue situation, and all along touring has been a really important pillar as far as earned revenue. And so we're fortunate enough that folks call us up and they really want us to come perform on their series wherever. So the first show that we did this season was down in Oklahoma. We sang this program, but we've been all over the place. This last month we were in near Boston. We were down in Texas. We performed in Chicago. But yeah, we've definitely been coast to coast this year, Seattle, Portland, all over the place. And it's a great way. I know that I feel really proud that this organization is based here in the Twin Cities, which is such a rich choral, has a rich choral tradition. The state of Minnesota obviously is one of the biggest choral centers in the country. And to get to be kind of an ambassador as we travel is I think really, really cool. Texans think they know how to sing, but they don't really. Minnesota's where it's at. So it's nice to show folks that. But I think for us as artists, we feel really privileged to get to do this as our full-time job and to get to travel around and to meet folks from all over. It's fascinating to see how different programs, different pieces land with audiences in different places. I find that to be interesting. I know when we were in Oklahoma this year, it was the first time singing this show, and obviously, as we all know, immigration is always a really hot issue. But we were heading to Oklahoma, which, it's my understanding, it's kind of red down there, and it's not really a political show. It's a show that celebrates the unique qualities that we have contained within what it means to be an American, things that we can all resonate with. But of course, like in this contentious landscape, you're always a little nervous, and so. But performing in Oklahoma, they just loved the show, and it was just. But you never know. You go out there, you're like, this is our best art that we're putting forward, and we believe it's not divisive, but you never know. And so that was an example of a moment that was well received, but a little concerning for me. You guys probably were feeling confident.
I felt fine.
Me too.
No, okay, so here's the thing. What's so cool about Cantus, and part of the reason why I selfishly was so excited to return, is that in the Twin Cities, we feel like we're next door neighbors, because we are, right? We know many of you. And wherever we are in the Twin Cities, we're like, yeah, I just saw you a couple weeks ago, like in the line at Aldi or whatever, right? But then when we go nationally and internationally, those people don't know us like you do. And so we get to bring Minnesota the feeling that we get from being around our neighbors all the time and performing with them, or performing for you regularly, and then go out on the road, and they're like, where are you even from? We're from Minnesota. Yes. And we have a bunch of friends there, and we sing with everybody, and yes, we love Minnesota. And they're like, oh, I should probably move there. Yes, you should.
I also think it's really cool that when we meet people, when we return to certain places, like we start to build relationships where we have a person in Texas, for example, who, whenever we're in Texas, she comes to all our shows. So we sort of build that audience nationally that we experience here, where you guys feel like our neighbors. We start to experience that on a national level, which is super cool.
And the live stream of their concerts are routinely visited by dozens of countries around the world. So this little band of 8 has really an international footprint and is such an amazing ambassador for Minnesota in particular, but the beauties of choral music in particular. Couldn't be more proud of you. I always give out extra points for the first brave soul who raises their hand and says, I have a question. Okay, you win. All right. Okay, excellent question. Cantus has an ambitious educational initiative. Can you tell us about your school programs?
Yeah. So we've been working with local high schools for many years. In the last couple of years, we kind of redesigned our flagship program, which is now called the High School Mentorship Program. And we take applications from anyone within the metro area, and then we partner with a specific school. This year, it's Johnson High School in St. Paul, and we develop a really tailored curriculum with their choir director. And we visit a couple times every month. We do a variety of activities. We'll workshop, we'll lead warm-ups, we'll talk about our programming model. last year we put a whole show together with them and performed it at the end of the year. But it's really there's a lot of depth to that program. We get to know the students really well. So that's been a joy to get to do that here at home. And then in addition to that, in greater Minnesota every year, we have a tenor bass festival, because obviously Cantus is a low voice ensemble, and I think we're finding that that's a real need among high schools and younger students to have male role models, low voice role models, showing them that it can be cool to sing. We think it's cool, right? We're cool, aren't we? So we love to do our tenor bass festival. So this past year, it was in Worthington, right? Yeah, Worthington. And next year, we're looking, hopefully, cross your fingers, it'll be up near Brainerd. And then we invite, it's kind of anyone who's interested can come be a part of that. So we get handfuls of students from all over the state who come together for a whole long day working with us to form a big festival choir. So that's a lot of fun. So kind of through the high school mentorship, we get to go deep with one school, and through the tenor bass festival, we get to have a really broad reach each year.
Next question. Yes.
What is the average length of stay with you?
That's a great question. What is the average tenure? Yeah, and I don't know the average. This guy's better at math than I am. But what I can say is that currently we are on year 3 of the same ensemble, as in no one has left for 3 years, and hopefully more. We love continuity. And then we also have people who have been around for, I think, 6 years on average, probably. But then we have someone in the ensemble who's been here for 18 years, and you get extra points if you know who that is.
I think the current average tenure is 10 years. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
See, I told you I was bad at math.
Next, please. Okay, Rod, would you tell me of this varied program, is there a piece that you love to get into and love to sing, and why?
Love is an interesting word for the piece that I'm going to talk about, but I think this song is sort of the centerpiece of the program, and it's commissioned by a composer named Melissa Dunphy, who wrote a set of songs called N400 Erasure Songs, and we will be performing the second movement from that cycle. And it's a really cool piece because Melissa and her librettists take the N400 form for naturalization, and erasure poetry is basically when you black out portions of text and the remaining bits are the text that you use for the piece. And I think it's a super powerful moment because beforehand, you hear a reflection where she's talking about how Kafkaesque the experience of becoming an American citizen was for her. And that process makes her no less proud of being an American. And the piece is incredibly intense, it's incredibly visceral and emotional, but I think it really shows how important that journey was for her, and how it really is an essential piece of her Americanness. And it's a really exciting moment in the show that we're super excited for you to experience.
We got 1 more minute left, and then I'm going to excuse you for some finish warming up. All these people are going to want to come to your next program, so tell them and me, where is it, when is it, how can we follow you?
Our next program is our cover show, and get ready for this. We're performing the music of Dolly Parton with a live band, and that show opens the weekend of May 30th and runs for 2 weekends, ending on June 7th. All shows are at the Luminary Arts Center in the North Loop, and you can come hear us jam to some Dolly Parton. You can find more information on our website, cantussings.org.
Thank you. Paul, and Rod, thank you. And get ready for a wonderful concert.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome. It's so good to be back together. I'm Linda Henning, chair of the Bethlehem Music Series Board of Directors. On behalf of all the directors and our many volunteers, thank you for joining us today, whether live or streaming, for what I believe will be an extraordinary concert by the beloved ensemble known as Cantus. Would you please indicate by a show of hands how many of you are attending a concert here for the very first time? That's great, thank you. Secondly, I haven't asked this question before, but this time I'm going to ask, by a show of hands, how many of you came because you were invited by a friend or family member? That's really a lot. Thank you. It's so helpful for us to know this. We're delighted, no matter what brought you here today, that you decided to join us, and we hope you'll return. I have to make an administrative announcement, which is some of you may have gotten a program that was not for Cantus's concert. It was for Brassworth's Trio. And if so, just raise your hand and she will give you the right program. So sorry about that. I don't think this has ever happened before, but thank you. And thank you, Brian Newhouse. Is Brian still here? Hi, Brian. Thank you so much for leading today's artist talk. We appreciate that so much. It was so interesting to me. The artist talks are always so interesting. I thought it was really wonderful that Cantus said, we, Minnesotans, are enough. They don't really need to go on all those trips because we give everything, and we are a choral center. Unlike some other states we could name, we are a choral center. So I thought that was great. We are enough. It's such a modest thing to say, and we're Minnesotans, we're very modest, so it made sense. When they said we feel like when we're with you in Minnesota, with an audience in Minnesota, that they feel like they're with their neighbors. They're doing a concert for their neighbors, which I thought was a lovely sentiment. And also that they are goodwill ambassadors for Minnesota when they travel. So they talk about our state a lot, which is really wonderful. We are fortunate today, indeed, to be able to showcase Cantus in large part through the generosity of our donors. Today's concert, the fifth and final performance of our 44th season, is sponsored by Cleo Crisell and Sandy Anderson, two longtime supporters of the Bethlehem Music Series. The live stream of today's performance is sponsored by Anita and David Sapp and dedicated to the memory of Roy Ruglin and Josh Ruglin. The generosity of these sponsors is deeply appreciated. Since opening the inaugural season of Bethlehem Music Series in 1982, with a very modest amount of startup funds, artistic director and founder Maria Buca has built this series into the longest running of its kind in the Twin Cities, bringing exceptional and eclectic music to live audiences of over 66,000 people. Maria, would you stand up in front and take a bow? Furthermore, talking about Maria, today we are also making the first public announcement of Creme de la Creme, our 45th anniversary year season, next year, opening in the fall. She has done amazing programming for this series in her role as artistic director, and our next year is going to be extraordinary. If you look on page 19 and 20 of your program, you will see the artists, the international artists who are coming and being showcased. They are indeed the best of the best, and their performance dates are listed there. Thanks to the generous support of all Friends of Bethlehem Music Series, we are able to stay true to our mission to provide our concerts to the larger community free of admission charge with complimentary valet and nursery services. Today's performance will have a 15-minute intermission that is preceded by a free will offering received by our ushers. Ushers proceed with baskets from the front as well as the middle of our sanctuary space. Page 22 of our program includes information on ways of giving and an envelope that you can use if you choose. Ushers and other volunteers wearing a badge can provide guidance to restroom locations in the building, including those that are handicapped accessible. After the concert, you are invited to join us for our special end of the season reception, honoring our donors, our supporters, and volunteers. The reception is held in the gallery space where you checked in today on ticket reservations. Refreshments will be served. Artist merchandise will be available for sale. We encourage you to linger a while for conversation with your family and friends and guests. And now, please join me in a hearty welcome for Cantus.
We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
From sea to shine.
Not like the brazen giant of Greek fame, with conquering limbs astride from land to land. Here, at our sea-washed, sunset gates, shall stand a mighty woman with a torch, whose flame is the imprisoned lightning, and her name, Mother of Exiles. From her beacon hand glows worldwide welcome. Her mild eyes command the air-bridged harbor that twin cities frame. Keep, ancient lands, your storied pomp, cries she with silent lips. Give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses, yearning to breathe free. The wretched refuse of your teeming shore. Send these, the homeless, tempest-tossed, to me. I lift my lamp beside the golden door.
The Declaration of Independence was signed in 1776, and the new Colossus, whose lines are inscribed on the Statue of Liberty, was written by Emma Lazarus in 1883. Centuries have passed since these words were written, and yet we are still here, reflecting on and reckoning with their meaning. What do they signify now? And who are they meant for in a 21st century America that looks so different from the country that existed when they were first written? That continues to be a complicated question, and yet it's still worth asking. It's still worth hoping and believing that America can live up to the values and the dreams expressed in those texts. When Cantus began preparing this program, we spent a lot of time considering the story that we wanted to tell in celebration of the 250th anniversary of the United States. Right now, the noise of division feels loud and unrelenting. The promise of welcome and belonging and freedom feels increasingly fragile and uncertain. As singers, we know a lot about dissonance, about what happens when voices clash, when they don't agree. But we also know that with patience and with empathy, and by truly listening closely to one another, what begins as utter cacophony can be transformed into the most beautiful harmony. And that's the spirit that inspired this program. Most of the music that you'll hear was written by composers who are first and second generation immigrants, several of whom have also taken the time to write reflections on what it means to live, create, and belong here in America. We are, after all, a nation founded and shaped by immigrants. And this program is a celebration of immigrant voices. Voices that have helped to define our cultural life, and voices that at this moment are being systematically and violently dismissed, marginalized, and silenced. The music on this program situates itself within an American culture made up of all the beautiful things that people carry with them when they arrive here and continue to carry as they make this country their home. The ideals set forth in 1776 sometimes feel more like questions than realities. But they also represent the aspirational dream at the core of our national identity, a dream that does not only belong to a select few, but to each and every one of us.
Las más hermosas Pagdating sa lulo, nabalayang sagat, tapos kapalaran, umanap ang iba. Ngayon na ng sinta, buko ng papaya, dalang ay gusto, sisigaw ng buligan, pagdating sa lulo, nabalayang sagat, tapos kapalaran, umanap ng iba. Lero, lero, sinta, lero, 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 sinta, lero, sinta, lero, sinta.
From Sonder Choi, composer of Leron Leron Sinta. I moved to Boston in January 2012, deep in the heart of winter, straight from the tropical warmth of the Philippines. That transition marked the beginning of a new chapter, one filled with excitement, but also with a quiet, persistent longing for the familiar. That longing sparked a search for echoes of home in food, community, the arts. Fortunately, my housemates were also Filipino immigrants, and together we began to weave connections with the broader Filipino-American community across Greater Boston. At the time, the nearest Filipino market was in Worcester, and not a single Filipino restaurant could be found within a 100-mile radius. If you wanted Filipino food, you found it in someone's kitchen, after the Filipino Mass at Boston College, or you cooked it yourself. Looking back, it feels inevitable that my first published choral work in the US would be an arrangement of a Filipino folk song, Leron Leron Sinta, a beloved children's tune known to generations of Filipinos. It was a small act of remembrance, a way to give voice to that quiet yearning. I completed the piece in time for the Philippine Madrigal Singers 2013 US tour, which included a stop in Boston.
Sinclopem cucuruggio le mani segue e torna su preto, le mani se non se va, le mani segue e torna su preto, le mani se non se va, le mani segue e torna su preto, le mani se non se va, le mani segue
The following reflection comes from Carlos Cordero, who composed the piece Lejanas Voces. The languages switch. Since I was a child, I've always loved learning languages. They're like a code that helps me connect with others, or prevents me from understanding them when I don't know. I remember feeling excited when I learned English and having access to a whole new world. The same happened later when I learned French. I felt powerful and ready for more. I had to stop there for a while, though, because I moved to the US and my brain needed to focus on English. While connecting with more Latine people, it was interesting for me to always prefer to keep communicating in English because of our context, the United States. It took me so long to let go and choose Spanish as my first option. I think some part of me was afraid I wouldn't be able to smoothly come back to English. Now, I feel comfortable and confident I can speak both languages, thanks to the people who pushed me to try. My boyfriend Tomas helped me reconnect with the feeling of being home through speaking more Spanish. My mom is currently visiting for a few months. She has helped me to solidify the joy of using my mother tongue all the time, and to use it as a way to bring more of myself to my English side. I hope we get to keep building a future where I can find more languages around, more people to connect with, and more moments to practice the awesome power that language switch is.
From Melissa Dunphy, Australian-American composer of N400 and Erasure. Melissa writes, "My immigration and naturalization process spanned almost 6 years. After falling in love with a handsome American in 2002, we exhaustively researched how I might immigrate to the United States. The easiest method at the time was the K-1 visa, more infamously known as the 90-day fiancé visa. 6 years, and thousands of dollars later, in late 2007, I became eligible for citizenship. She continues, "It's difficult to describe to natural-born Americans how much perseverance is necessary for a, quote, alien spouse to become a fully fledged American citizen. Even when applying through the easiest methods, the process is expensive, stressful, and at times even traumatizing. I wanted to become a citizen because I love this country, but in order to do so, I had to scale walls of inhuman and inhumane bureaucracy without any guarantee that at the end of that journey, I would truly be seen as American by those who were born here. I am legally an American, but I had to take a test and swear an oath and jump through sometimes Kafkaesque hoops to enjoy a citizen's rights. As hard as it was, I am proud to say that I earned my citizenship, and I take my oath seriously. I will support and defend the Constitution and laws of the United States of America against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same." The music of the piece you are about to hear was created by Melissa, with text by Laurel Chen. With the use of erasure, Laurel transformed the N400 application for naturalization, which is used to apply for U.S. citizenship. Erasure poetry is created by blacking out portions of pre-existing text to create a new work.
Notice any immigration, notice hearing, notice see, notice any immigration, notice hearing, notice see, notice you, notice you, notice you, notice you, notice fingerprints disposable on the written prints are process. Separate your open wounds, separate your open wounds in the process. Verify, all has been destroyed, Verify, all has been destroyed, all has been destroyed. Reschedule. reschedule, 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 resubmit, 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 reschedule, 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 you will never
On the Pulse of Morning by Maya Angelou. A rock, a river, a tree, host to species long since departed. Any alarm of their hastening doom is lost in the gloom of dust and ages. But today the rock cries out to us, clearly, forcefully, come. You may stand upon my back and face your distant destiny, but seek no haven in my shadow. I will give you no hiding place down here. You have crouched too long in the bruising darkness, have lain too long face down in ignorance, your mouths spelling words armed for slaughter. The rock cries out today, you may stand on me, but do not hide your face. Across the wall of the world, a river sings a beautiful song. Come rest here by my side. Come clad in peace, and I will sing the songs the Creator gave to me when I and the tree and the stone were one. Before cynicism was a bloody sear across your brow, and when you yet knew, you still knew nothing. Today, the first and last of every tree speaks to humankind. Come to me here beside the river. Each of you, descendant of some passed on traveler, has been paid for. Here, root yourselves beside me. History, despite its wrenching pain, cannot be unlived. And if faced with courage, need not be lived again. Give birth again to the dream. Take it into the palms of your hands. Sculpt it into the image of your most public self. Each new hour holds new chances for new beginnings. The horizon leans forward, offering you new space to place new steps of change. Here on the pulse of this fine day, you may have the courage to look up and out upon me, the rock, the river, the tree, your country. Here on the pulse of this new day, you may have the grace to look up and out and say simply, very simply, with hope, good morning.
Este
The following reflection was shared by Shabnam Abedi, the arranger of Manushtoro Manushbojo, the piece you'll hear next. Shabnam writes, "Identity is something most of us question at some point in our lives, because identity gives us a sense of belonging. We have a predetermined physical form of identity and our internal, the mental and emotional form of identity. That then creates the foundation of how we interact as humans, all of which we get to choose. We get to define and choose the meaning behind our predetermined physical form. For example, short doesn't have to mean you take up less space, and large doesn't have to mean you step over others. Internal forms of our identity dictate what social norms we prioritize, what forms of lifestyle we practice, what we believe we should eat, how we should communicate, what we should wear, etc. My experience growing up as a first-generation Bangladeshi American kept identity at the forefront. How do I belong? There were trivial questions like, do I identify with short or long hair? Do I identify with rock or R&B? And bigger questions like, do I identify with what being culturally American stands for, or do I identify with what being culturally Bangladeshi stands for? After many takes of questioning and many attempts to belong to a definition of identity that the world is comfortable with, I realized that my identity is a multidimensional, ever-changing, and ever-expanding sense of belonging. I don't belong to any one political land. I belong wherever I hang my hat. I don't belong to one way of obligatory living. I belong to healing and growth. I don't belong to Americanism or Bengalism. I belong to the creation of culture. I don't belong to the patriarchal or matriarchal understanding of womanhood. I belong to my understanding of being a woman. English belongs to me, just as much as Bangla belongs to me, just as much as Spanish would belong to me if I spent the time to learn it. I have repeatedly made the mistake of trying to have an identity that I could easily explain to someone. But I'm not an explanation. I'm a whole story, a story of belonging to love.
Canto by Francisco X. Alarcon. Guided by the scent of hope to even meet up with strangers and arrive at yesterday and find ourselves ashore, bathed in future, and to see in every face a door open and inviting us in, to find solace in memories like bread and water, a bed, the sun, and to run out barefoot into the year's first rains to embrace tenderness and offer shade, joy, strength, support like solid mountain oaks, and to flourish like tilled soil, and to be anchor or compass and sea, and sing the wind's true song with one voice in the face of silence. We'll only be free when every man and woman, in every home, street, every shade of the human race, everywhere, is truly free. We'll only be free when abuse, loneliness, hunger, alienation aren't words, but forgotten rumors of a far distant past. We'll only be free when we become little boys and girls once again, who squirm with joy as we explore the marvels, the wonders of our world.
The following words were written by Yosvane Estepe, the arranger of El Manicero. I was born in Havana, Cuba. Or at least, that's what people tell me.
But I know the truth. The stork actually made a monumental mistake. If I remember correctly, I slipped from her beak, she wasn't able to catch me, and, well, I landed on the island. I studied at the National School of Music in Havana, and later was a professor of theory and solfege at said institution. Almost finished with my degree, I started to play with a renowned band on the island, with whom I had the opportunity to visit Guadalajara, Mexico. Not just anybody could leave the country during those years. You needed a highly justified, accepted, and authorized reason to gain permission from the Cuban regime. Ultimately, everything needed their approval. For obvious reasons, to those of us who have lived under communism, I decided not to return and to start a new life in Guadalajara. I spent 17 years in Mexico, where I was able to accomplish much more than I had dreamed possible while living in Cuba. For about 7 years now, I have been living in the US with my wife and for my wife, since it was never my intention to live here initially, but love convinced me. I truly feel blessed, among other things, for the ease with which this country has allowed us to carry out our projects, to have my wife with me always, for her beautiful voice, believe me, and for her pure and clear soul, and for the pride I feel in being able to be an American citizen. I cannot deny that at first the change of country was very shocking for me, leaving behind everything I had built and accomplished in Mexico, starting from zero again, a new culture, new customs, the language, and by language I don't just mean English, I mean Southern English. But the liberty and the respect for the law that you breathe in the US, I dare to say, do not exist the same in any other part of the world. I know very well what it is like to live without liberties or rights and everything that produces. For that reason, I'm grateful to be one more citizen of this great country.
okay, we may have another one for you. We just wanted to say thank you so much to everyone here at Bethlehem Lutheran. This is a beautiful space to sing, and you are a wonderful audience. So thank you so much. Following our final song, we'll be out and about. Please come up and say hello. Ask us about the various songs we'll be singing on Dolly Parton covers in a few weeks. And please connect with us. As we mentioned in our pre-concert talk, you are our neighbors, and we love that about our audiences here in the Twin Cities. In closing, we'd like to share another arrangement by our good friend, Yosvani Estepe. This one is a newly commissioned arrangement for this program of Mi Tierra by Gloria Estefan, made famous on her album of the same name. And while it's an incredibly upbeat anthem from this world-famous artist, it does speak to something intimate and complex, the shared immigrant experience of feeling nostalgia for where you came from. As the translation is, the land sighs if it no longer sees you. The land where you were born. You cannot forget it because it holds your roots and what you leave behind. Thank you so much, everyone.
La melancolía, orea, la noche